Hello YouTube, this is your boy Sean Matrai, here to give you the Stage 2 guide for WCQ, KC Cup, whatever. This is going to teach you how to do well, how to perform well in KC Cup, and if you don't know what it is, what you should be doing, the metas you should be looking at, complete guide. If you have not played a Stage 2 before, or you are unsure about one thing or the next, you need to be watching this video because it's going to be a complete guide. Okay? Alright, so number one, let's go over what it is. So, KC Cup, Stage 2. Alright, so is 3 days, 72-hour event. Non-stop dueling. About 300 to 500 duels are played. This is generally what it is. Alright? So, you, as a player, will decide whether you want to go into this. It's strenuous, and you could go into it to see how you do. If you're not as competitive, you don't have to play in it. You could, go casual, get the gems, have fun, get the gems in Stage 1 and not play Stage 2. But if you're competitive, chances are you will be playing in it to see how you rank among the world. Alright, now, I'm going to give you an overview of where rankings generally stand now and in a bit. But let me go over how you rank. Alright, as a general consensus. This is how you are measured. You are measured in DP, which ranges from about 1,000 per win and minus 1,000 per loss. However, occasionally, if you are higher ranked, you could go down minus 1,200, or if you're lower ranked, you may drop minus 600-700 in a KC Cup. Alright. Where this will vary. And this minus generally happens around, say, about 1K to 7K. After that, then you start dropping by 1,000, and you can gain more, you can gain less, depending on where your opponent is ranked or what not. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Alright, so just a few things that you need to know. Next is rankings. Alright, if you want to know DP wise, where if you're looking for a certain spot, whether it be top 100, top 1,000, top 10,000, where they stand, you've come to the right place. So top 100 is about, let's start with top 10. Top 10 is about, I would say, 63K to 70K. Top 100 is 52K. Top 500 is about 32K. Top 1,000 is about 25K. Could be a bit lower. I'll say about 22 to 25K. Depends. Top 3,000, top 10,000, I would say is about maybe 13 to 15K. Alright. Those are the rankings that generally people aim for. Top 500 I consider a solid performance. It's a good performance in KC Cup. That means I would say this is the line. And if I was going solely on KC Cup alone, this would be the line where you would start to be tournament worthy. Not like tournament winning worthy. And I would say probably, if I was like, you know, picking people for like team wars and other things like that, I would say this is where teams would start to look. If you were starting, teams would start to look. But if you finish at like top 500, you have to have other things backing it. Hopefully, at least multiple different finishes around that rank. And how far in top 500 did you get? And do you have a lot of tournament tops? At that point, then teams might start to look for you, I feel. Top 100 and top 10, obviously. Yeah, you're going to get on team wars at that point because you are an elite player. However, those are just like things that I would start to really look into at that point. But this is generally where I would rank KC Cup performances at. Okay? Me playing in Team Wars and doing different things, managing and all that stuff, I would generally rank it there. That's how I view a performance. Anyway, I'm going to also rank performances a bit by points as well. So let's say you don't get those exact ranks. I'm going to go a little bit. This is for like really competitive players, really. If you get top 10 global, which is around, like I said, 63 to 70k, that is godly performance in stage 2. Obviously, you are god at the game. You are the best there are. 50k on is extremely good. That's excellent. Beyond proving that you are a top tier player. 40k is really good. Still really good. That proves you are top tier. Or strong potential to be top tier. I think you are a top tier player once you hit 40k. In the KC Cup, because I do not think that's easy at all. Finishing at 40k or above, like 40 to 50k. 30k is solid. Good player, overall good player who has solid knowledge of the game. You know, generally someone who cogs every season. Generally someone who cogs relatively early every season. You know, could get the occasional top in the tournament. Just overall really solid, good player at the game with good knowledge. This is just generic. 20k is okay. Decent. You know, probably someone who cogs relatively cogs every season. Plays the game more at a casual stature. And then 10k, not a great performance. But this is just generic. You know, some people don't have the best KC Cups. You can't look at this one KC Cup and say, okay, you know, someone had a bad KC. Oh, someone did bad in one KC Cup, then they're a bad player. No, that's not how it works. So, you know, anybody can have one really bad KC Cup. Doesn't mean they're bad. Could be a really great player, just the luck didn't flip for them. So take this with a grain of salt, but this is generally how, in generics, I would view the ranking system at that point. But, you know, like, this is grain of salt, because anyone can have a bad KC Cup. Sometimes the luck doesn't go for you. Sometimes you get a little tilted. And sometimes the format just gets you, because I don't love the format. I'll be the first one to tell you about it and rant about it. But, you know, overall, it's how I would say, you know, this is how I would rank performances. Obviously, like I said, 40k and above, anytime you hit 40k and above in a KC Cup, that's a really good performance in my mind. That shows that you can very much compete in Team Wars. It shows that you can win a tournament at any time, get to the finals, top 8, consistently. That you have really in-depth knowledge about the game and just know what you're doing at any point. So that, to me, is excellent if you have multiple finishes above them. So, yeah, that's really, really good. Okay, we're going to move on. I am going to get rid of this. Just wanted to put up some rankings for you guys. Okay, now going on further, tips. What should you do? You need to be well rested. Do not play this game on no rest. Do not play 72 straight hours of dueling. You will not, with no breaks, no food, no nothing, you will regret your life. For me, that's how I feel it. You're going to hate yourself. Don't hate yourself. You don't want to be in that spot. So you want to be well rested. Take breaks. Breaks are very important. You need to stop. You need to break. Even for me as a streamer, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say everything I plan to stream in this video. I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm going to stream it. Because we're going to try to go for top 100 global. Anything beyond that, I probably would never go for. And it's not because I'm afraid to or I'm not. For me, as far as I want to be competitive, I am very satisfied being top 100 global. And I just wouldn't have the energy for it. So if I get top 100 in the KC Cup, that's perfect for me. That fulfills my goals. I'm a happy man. Alright. Take breaks. Make sure you take a break. Even for me as a streamer, I might go outside and say, guys, 5-10 minutes, get me outside, let me get some air. Because you have to. Even as a streamer, I realized this. All these years, I got afraid to leave the screen as a player because I didn't want to leave it for you guys. You know, and I wanted to keep the content going. But now I realized, I said, I have to go out occasionally. I have to. Because otherwise, it's not healthy. I need to take care of my health first. And you guys should be taking care of your health. Make sure you see the sunlight. I cannot tell you how much it helps playing competitively that you go outside and see the sunlight. Because when you play this game for 72 hours, you might forget it exists. And well rested, sleep the night before, sleep the day before. Make sure you get a good day's rest. Sleep. Because chances are, like if you're me and you live in NA, your sleeping schedule is going to be off. So you want to make sure that you are well rested. You know, for me, a goal could be get to like 20k, rest, and then after that come back on about maybe like 7 hours later, 6 hours, 7 hours later, and continue playing. You know, and eat as well. Do not eat. I will be eating on stream. I have no shame in eating on stream. Alright, I will eat on stream. At that point, you guys can show me replays. I don't mind. That's a great opportunity for you guys to take advantage of that. So I have something to watch while I eat my dinner or whatever meal I'm eating. Okay, next. Stay hydrated. This kind of goes to the eating point, but you need to drink. Do not sit there and stay stew, not drink a sip of water, not drink a sip of juice, whatever you need, soda, whatever. You will regret life. You will start to play bad. You won't be hydrated. You won't be focusing. You'll start rushing your plays because after all, you just won't care anymore. Drink. That's healthy. Alright? You need to keep healthy to stay hydrated. Alright? Know when you can break. And your goals. Alright? Again, in stage 2, I'll give you some recommendations and to where I'll be doing. Let me tell you what I'll be doing because that's for me. Now, this is a top 100 thing that I'm going for, so I know the points where I could stop at. However, it may be different for everyone else. So again, if you have a different stopping point, it might be different for you, but I can give you a general consensus. So, day 1, during your first push, 20k is a good point. If you stop at 20k initially, that's a good stopping. If you want to stop, take a rest, go eat, whatever. If you're going for top 100, and that's okay, because you still have plenty of time. So, like, at the first part, I'll write first part of day 1. 20k, 25 is a good point. Don't burn yourself out day 1. That's a good Jay's work. Don't burn yourself out. If you burn yourself out, you're not going to want to play. Next, during the second part, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go more in depth with it. But second part of day 1 into day 2, you could go for 30 to 35k. Stop. Take a break. Next comes day 2, more into day 2. Then you can, day 2 to the beginning of day 3, you could push for 40k. And then 40, 45k. And then make the push for day 3, which is day 3, you go for the 50k range. This is just an example. You do not have to do this. You do not have to do this if you're going for top. If you're not going for top 100, you're probably not doing this. You can play this a lot more casually. But This is just an example of what I'd recommend. Alright? You could do that and get to where you want to be. Obviously, this is just the basic rubric, but you know, these are things that you can do if you want to do well. Alright? If you want to go for like top 500, play more casual. You know, if you have stuff to do on a weekend, you say I can get to 500, take a day off, play 2 days. That's okay. You know, if you're busy Saturday, play Friday, take off Saturday, play Sunday. That's okay. Alright? This is just something. Now, I'm going to go on about the tier list. I'll do what I'm doing with streaming last. KC Cup tier list. And I'm going to give you a bunch of good texts that are good to play as well. Alright, this is my tier list. It's very similar to DLM's, but this is what I feel is the most optimal decks in the KC Cup. I have tier 0 Orcust. I truly believe Orcust is a tier 0 deck based on representation and power rankings overall. It takes a 36% over 7% of everything else, which basically puts Orcust at the very tippy top of a near tier 0 deck. And I think in a best of 1 format, everybody's going to be aiming to counter it. It is a tier 0 deck. Beyond that, I have tier 2, almost like tier 1.5. I have Odd Eyes with, I'll put this as tier 2 almost. But it's almost tier 1, tier 2. Then I have tier 3. I have Speedroid, Rocket. I think those are really the best tier 3 decks. Sulfur may get in there. I don't really think it's... It might. I'll put it down. I really doubt... I have doubts in there about it, but those are the decks I would really be on the lookout for. After that, you have your rogue decks, which there's honestly a lot that can go in here. Raid Raptor is a very interesting rogue deck that's starting to get a little bit of attention because of its turn 1 play. You have, what's another deck that can really be rogue? And this better. S-Force is probably somewhere in the rogue area. Heroes are really low rogue if they get any play at all. Hero Alliance is really rogue. Chronomaly. Everyone seems to forget about this deck. DDD is another rogue one. So you have a few rogue choices that I think you get in there. I think we can go on all day about things that might be rogue, might be meta, whatever not. But I definitely feel that this is how our tier list is looking. Like I said, going back to the tier list, Odd Eyes is definitely a tier 1 deck at this point. This is what you should be looking at. So these are the decks, mainly in the top, the tier list, what of the tippy top. That's what you should be game planning against, because those are the decks that I think you're gonna end up seeing the most out of any of these decks. Honestly, again, everyone's probably wondering, "Hey, Sean," and I'd say, "What?" And you guys are going, "What happened to Phantom Knight? Where did they go?" Honestly, Phantom Knight dropped off. Oh, there's one other deck I forgot to include, and I'm so sorry for not doing it. In the tier 3 section is Onomet. Honestly, PK kind of dropped off. It's not a reliable deck anymore because the deck really does struggle against a lot of what the meta has to offer, honestly. Especially Orcust. Like, I could tell you the top 2 decks are arguably PK counter resistant. It is, being Orcust and Odd Eyes. And then on the bottom parts, it's just like Speedroid's kind of a 50-50 where PK's not really going to play through a book and a Crystal Wing. And then Onomet, every deck can make as good of a turn 1 as PK in this meta, really. Any of those top decks that you see, I want to put one deck up here because I truly believe it's starting to enter the tier 3 section. And I've seen play. I'll put it as High Rogue because I don't know if it's tier 3 yet. And I'm going to put this up here. Is Rezo. Resonator is one deck you want to start to look out for, because the Void Ogre combos that can end on are quite scary if they can get them going. So I'll add that to the list as well. But really, up here, you know, PK really can't stand up to Orcus and Odd-Eyes, and the rest of them are just like 50-50 as well. Automat's not even good because they make Dweller turn 1, and it's, you know, rough from there. You know, outing the Dweller, which they really can't do. So, as well as Lancia being very prominent in the format, where the deck is just going to struggle. Will they come back? Yes, most likely if a lot of decks get hits. If you see Orcus get hits, they could easily come back into the meta, so I would really watch out for them in the future. They're not dead by any sort of means, and they got like 0 hits to ban list, so they're a deck that could definitely come back in the future. Just right now, it's not it. Okay. Anyway, that's that. I'm going to go over what I'm going to do in Stage 2. And you're probably wondering where Odd-Eyes Orcus fits under Orcus, by the way. A lot of Orcus variants, just all under Orcus. That's where I put everything, honestly. Makata Orcus, Odd-Eyes Orcus, whatever. Seal Tombs, they're all in the Tier 0 category. Alright. Next, I am going to go over what my streaming schedule will be. So that way you know when to watch me. Now, I initially will be going from about 0 to 12K by myself in early morning, and then once I get to 12K, I will jump on and we will go for 20 to 25. After that, I will take a break. I plan to break, kind of like the rubric I was doing. Later that day, I'll be I will be on VC with a lot of people, including X Mango, probably my boy Mason, maybe some of my teammates, and more people, and many more. So you can expect that, and that through the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, again, I don't want to go beyond this point because, you know, this kind of varies on where the DP we're at, but generally, we're going to go based upon that rubric. I will be eating on stream. I will be sleeping in between. I am not playing 72 straight hours. I do not hate myself, okay? I will be playing intermittent. I will be playing often, and trying hard, but I will be sleeping. I will have, like, 2 or 3 sleep breaks, so that's gonna happen. So I already scheduled that all in. Again, I have finished top 500 literally almost every KC Cup. I can tell you, I can't remember the last KC Cup where I didn't get top 500 at least. There have been many times where I've been dead close to top 100, like 47, 48K, which is really close, like 5 wins away from being top 100, which is insanely good. Like, that's almost 50K, and you remember what I talked about 50K before, and I said that that's an insane ranking. 50K is really, really good. So, you know, those are great performances. So, I will talk to you guys soon. Again, I want to go over one more thing before we end, and then I'll give you the sign off. Alright. What should you be playing in the KC Cup? What techs do you need to look out for? This is something I did not get to. Alright. So, I'm going to go over my popular cards. We're going to go to spells first. Cosmic, Book, Mind Control, Lance, Chalice. These are big ones. These are the most big ones in terms of spell cards. As far as text that you need to be looking for. Mind Control being the biggest, and I'm glad they put it at the front. Next, we're going to go over Traps, and we're going to go to Popular again. Crackdown, Warning Point, Compulse, Needle Sealing, IDP. I'm going to go over, I'll put this in here. It's not really attack. We're going to go to Monsters now. Definitely your Orcus, but those are not really tech cards. Crow is a big one. Ibley is another big one. Lancia is another big one. Which, that one I want to talk about. Yeah. Okay. These are the biggest techs I don't know if that's really made the popular list yet. It has not made the popular list tonight. Oh yeah, it has. Electric Virus. Alright. These are the most biggest techs. I'm going to get rid of this because it's not really a tech card. These are the biggest techs that I would fear going into Stage 2. This is more than likely, I'll even throw this on here because of a rocket card. That you will be looking for because people will be playing all these techs. Triff and Kiteroid are played in what we call, I'm going to write this on over here. Triff and Kite are played in HTO, which we call Hand Trap Orcus, which is generally run under Ishizu with Sealed Tombs. That's a really big build. Doesn't focus on much back row, but you'll see a lot of Mind Control, Electric Virus in it, and then they'll try to OTK you and prevent you from lethaling them with hand traps. So that's known as HTO. Next, on top of that, we have Lancia and Crow, which are techs that I think you should definitely be looking out for in Stage 2. Where is my text box? Whoops, sorry about that. Okay. Give me like 1 sec, guys. Okay. Next is... How to fix this again? Lancia Crow. Now, Lancia Crow are very, very powerful. I don't need to write one of these down. Lancia Crow are very, very powerful because they are Orcus counters. And this is a PK counter, but Lancia is really strong. I mean, Crow is really strong because this could stop Orcus turn from getting return. They can still end on ding, but they can't get to return. So that's something you really want to look out for. It's also really good against Speedroid. It's also really good against Resonator because they use the graveyard. Not as strong against Thought Eyes, but really good nonetheless. Lancia is just really good against Cosmic and Orcus. Next, you have Electric Virus and Mind Control. Mind Control is the most broken tech that you're going to see all over the KC Cup. This card just wins games. It takes your opponent's monster and just they can link with it. It's absurdly broken. Along with Electric Virus, which just takes your opponent's monsters and win games. You first out Volafreens with this, and you steal your opponent's cards and win the game. Just absurdly powerful. And these are commonly used in Orcus variants. Book of Moon is Book. Stops plays, stops Crystal Wing, stops Volafreens. Very, very good. Lance and Cosmic are back removal. Cosmic's going to be in the counter Odd Eyes and also trigger Tombs and Switcheroo. These are very common. Lance is really good with Mind Control going around, so expect this a lot. Chalice is great to just negate release plays on Ding. It's also really good to stop Dweller, unlike Book. This will stop Abyss Dweller. I'll put Dweller here too, because Dweller is very important to bring up. And I will also include Roach. On top of that, you have your trap techs, IDP, Crackdown. Oh, your limit 3s, IDP, Crackdown, and Compulse. IDP and Crackdown are going to be played substantially. Crackdown you'll see in almost every deck that can play it. It is free to play with great back row. IDP is insane. This card is won me infinite amount of games. In Orcus meta, if you go with this first, you pretty much win the game. You IDP their Galatea and whatever, and just wins the game on its own. Even going second, it can be really good. Better than Crackdown, because I think it's vulnerable to cards like Phoenix. But it's better in Orcus, because then you can't get popped by Dingirsu. Next, we have Warning Point. Warning Point is insane, because Warning Point can just end your turn, especially when you use it on a Nightmare Phoenix. This card is absolutely incredible. Compulse is a good limit 3, just bounces the monster. Needle Sealing is a card that I think needs to go to 3. This card is absurdly powerful against anything except the Mira. Blows out Nodai's matchup, blows out Speedroid matchup if timed right. It's just really good in Rocket and Orcus. And then Necrofusion's a card that can make Furious Dragon and Rockets a bit easier. On top of that, Dweller just shuts down Orcus. It's obviously, really good in this format. And then you have Roach, which just beats Odd Eyes. Helps you beat Odd Eyes, but they can play 3. Be careful of Queen Dragon Djinn because they can make it. I'll put up the card, and this allows them to go into Raging Dragon with it by itself. They revive back their Odd Eyes. Hold on. They revive back their Odd Eyes with it. It does not need to be properly summoned, and then they win the game on the spot by making Raging Dragon. So be careful of that. Alright? These are the texts that I think you should be looking out for at the World Championship Qualifier. Alright, I will be live tonight. I'll be live tomorrow. Thursday, I'm not streaming. I'm going to be sleeping for a Friday stream. And, yeah, until next time, please stop by my Stage 2 streams on Friday. I would greatly appreciate that. Be there tonight, tomorrow. I love your opinions on deck lists and maybe there's stuff that I'm missing. So, please, follow, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this. Until next time, Matrai signing out.